Out of all the 2 Gorilla Tag ARGs I have solved, this one is by far the weirdest. It started off with someone sending me an image on Discord. It was this weird photo of Stump, and I didn't know what to think of it. It was very dark and creepy, so I decided to brighten the image. That's when I saw in canyons there was this weird gorilla. That was it. However, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a random string of text. I managed to figure out what it said, and it led me to a YouTube video. And this one video led me down the deepest rabbit hole I've ever seen. The video is really low quality and has a bad frame rate, and that makes it so we can't see what's really happening. However, if we skip to around the 12-second mark, we can see that the person is actually in Gorilla Tag and is near the gazebo. And on the gazebo, it's actually really weird and glitched with some random letters on it that I can't make out. Nothing then really happens for the rest of the video, until at the end of the video. At the end of the video, we can see this weird glitched treehouse. However, we can also see something else. At the top right, we can see the same gorilla from the first image. And I didn't know what this meant. And after rewatching the video, I noticed that I missed something. Just take a listen. That was actually Morse code, and at first glance, that may seem like nothing. However, if we actually decode this, it decodes to LT9UVGC, which is actually an image link. And when I put this into Google, it gave me this image. It had that same gorilla from the previous video and image. It also had text that said "We are the answer." And below that there was even more Morse code. And we can see a pattern between this weird gorilla and these weird cryptic messages. So does this mean that this is the person responsible for all of this? To find out, we need to decode this Morse code. So I put it into a Morse code decoder, and it gave me another image link. After I put it into Google, it gave me this image. And I could barely see anything, so I decided to turn up the brightness. And that's when I saw the same gorilla from earlier. There was also this weird jumbled text at the top of the screen. I managed to figure out what it said, and I realized it was a Caesar cipher. So I put it through a decoder, and it came out with "We are waiting." I didn't know what this meant. However, at the bottom of the screen, I noticed there was base 64. So I put it through this decoder, and it gave me a random string of text. I then realized that this was another image link, and it led me to this image. It was just a random poem, however some of the words were messed up. I then realized that they all translated to random words. I didn't know what to do. However, that was until I got a random DM from Root. He sent me another screenshot. This time, it was of gazebo. I brightened the image and noticed the same weird gorilla. However, there was also hidden text under the light bulb, and it decoded to the word deception, which was very weird. However, I knew I needed to dig deeper, so I remembered the YouTube channel. And I decided to check if there was any more videos. And to my surprise, there was. So I decided to check it out. The video starts off with just the same gorilla we've been seeing from before. That's until we see some text on the screen that says "He stole my face." A couple seconds later, his face turns distorted and more text displays on the screen. And it says that the Root is watching. But before I had any time to think, I got another DM from Root. This time, it was of a really white image, and I realized I needed to invert the image. The first thing I noticed was the weird gorilla. However, there was also some text, and that led to another image link. It was an image of the same gorilla but with a distorted face, and there was some weird text on the side. I also noticed a random string of letters and numbers, so I decided to put it in a YouTube link, and it led me to the secret final video. The video starts off with the gorilla walking in a corrupted Gorilla Tag. He then walks up the stump and jumps down this weird hole. He then suddenly gets teleported to a platform, and we can see Root, the same gorilla from all the previous screenshots. And then the video ends. That was it. I tried searching for any clues or anything that could help me, but I couldn't find anything. That was until I checked the description. I saw a link to a random website. So I decided to search it up, and let's just say, this was shocking. As soon as I loaded up the website, it asked me for a passcode. So I tried the channel name, and it said access denied. I then tried the video name, Gorilla. but it still didn't work. So I decided to try Root, the person who started all of this. And then the screen went blank. And it worked. It was never deleted. They remained. We remained. He is watching. He is copying. And now, you are part of it. I then went to check the video the next day, and it was removed. So does this mean that we solved the mystery of Root? For now, I don't know, but we'll have to see.